So for 2.2 day 2, we're going to talk about point slope form. So the first thing that I would have you do is this warm up, numbers 1 through technically 4. So 1 through 4, go ahead and look at that as a warm up. So now that you've gone through this, hopefully it was pretty quick to find the slope of all these. Obviously the slope of this one will be a -1/9 because it's slope-intercept form. On number 3, you actually had to find the slope. So y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So I use this point first. From there, 7 plus 1 is 8. -3 minus 2 is -5. And we cannot reduce it, so we leave it just like that. Number 2, we could have found any point on here, any 2 points that cross at a good spot, and then you can do rise over run to find the slope. So we would go up 1, 2, 3, and then to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means our slope would be 3/4. And the last one, we need to do a little work before it gets into slope-intercept form. So we can distribute 1/2. So you get y minus 6 equals -1/2, and then that ends up giving me a +4. From there, add 6 to both sides, and now we get y equals, oh, there was an x here, -1/2 x plus 10. So that means -1/2 is my slope. So with this, our slope formula again is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x, right? Now, I'm going to change this so that it actually looks like m y minus y1 and then x minus x1. Okay, now the point slope formula actually comes straight from this. Okay, what's going to happen is we're going to multiply by x minus x1 so that it cancels over here. And then I'm just going to rewrite it a little bit, okay? So we're going to put the y's first. So you have y minus y1. And then it's going to be equals m times x minus x1, okay? That actually is your point slope form. So you take your y minus your y value, and then equals m, which is your slope, and then this would be your point. Okay, so the x1, y1 is the point that you plug in. So if we look at number 5, it says write an equation of a line that has a slope of 1/2 and passes through the point 3, -2. Okay, so again, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we're going to plug this in for m, and we're going to plug this in for our y1 and our x1. So it would be y minus, our y value is -2. So if it's minus a negative, it becomes a positive. And then it's going to equal 1/2, and then x minus our x value, which is 3. So here is my point slope form. Now, when you go to graph it, you don't have to solve for y and then use slope intercept. Instead, what you can do is plot the point that we have. Well, the point is 3, -2, so over 3 down 2. And then we know it goes through that point, and we have the slope of 1/2. So up 1 over 2, and you just keep going up 1 over 2 until you're either off the graph or you've done enough. Number 6 is a very similar question. It passes through 2 points now, though. Whenever you have 2 points, you're going to have to find the slope first. So change your y over an x. If we do that, it doesn't matter what point we start with. I'm going to start with -8, 2. So our y is 2 minus our other y value, which is 3. And then -8 minus -9 becomes plus. If we work our way across, 2 minus 3 is -1, and -8 plus 9 is 1. So our slope is negative. At that point, now we have a point and a slope. I would like for you to always grab the first point, but you don't have to. Either one is fine. So it's going to be y minus your y value equals m times x minus your x value. And remember, when you minus a negative, it becomes a positive. Now, it's totally fine if you took the other point. It would be y minus 3 equals negative 1, x minus negative 9. Again, I would like the first answer, though. It says now let's put the equation in slope-intercept form. So whether you take first or the second, when you write it in slope-intercept form, you'll get the same answer. So we would distribute the 1, and we get negative x minus 8. And then all we have to do is add 2 to both sides. From there, y would equal negative 1 minus 6. Number 7 says write an equation of a line that passes through 5, 6, and 6, 7. So try this one on your own before you watch me do it. Hopefully we were done finding the slope first. So I would take from the second one, and you get 7 minus 6 over 6 minus 5. Now, if you did the opposite, it's fine. You would still get 1 over 1, or your answer would be just 1 as your slope. From here, again, I'm going to take the first point. So it would be y minus your y value equals your slope times x minus your x value. And now we want to write it in slope-intercept form. So again, we would distribute that 1, but it really doesn't change anything. So in reality, all we're doing is adding 6 to the other side, and y equals x plus 1. Now here's something that students struggle with often. Right? Yes, you can distribute and solve for y, graph this, but sometimes it'll make it nearly impossible to graph on the graph shown. So instead, I want you to get in the habit of grabbing the point out and then moving the slope. First off, when you grab the point out, remember that's always the opposite of what you see. Because y minus the y value, right, really gave us a positive number. Just like up here. This is a positive 6 as a point. This is a positive 5 in our point. So it's always the opposite. Also, remember x first, so it would be negative 1, positive 3. Okay, because again, it's always the opposite of what you see. After you graph that point, negative 1, positive 3, then you can go ahead and move your slope, which is negative 30. So we would go down to right 3 a couple times, and then go in the opposite direction, up to left 3, and there's our line. Again, this one, if you would have solved, you would have gotten y equals negative 2/3 x plus some fraction, right? Some decimal, because it doesn't cross at a good point. So that's why it's important to do it this way. All right, letter B. So again, we're going to pull out our point first. So this would be 1, negative 1. And that's because this is a positive 1 and this is a negative 1. So we move over 1, down 1, and then we move our slope of 0.75. Well, that's kind of hard to do. So we need to think of that as a fraction. As a fraction, that would be 3 over 4. So up 3 over 4, up 3 over 4. And then in the other direction, down 3 over 4, down 3 over 4. On letter C, right, we can this as slope form, or you can think about it getting in slope intercept. So if you think about it as point slope, you would have a 0 in there because it could disappear, right? So our point would be 0, negative 6. Now, if you thought about it as wanting to solve for y, you would have just left 6, and you would have been left with y equals 6. Either way, you would have started with 0, negative 6. which is your y-intercept. And then move your slope, which is 1. So we move 6 over 1 times. We actually without going off the graph. So that would be our final answer. Our last one for today is already in slope intercept. So just like we learned yesterday, we're going to go down 8 and put our point, and then move our slope of 2. So up 2 over 1. And do it a couple times, and then draw your line.